what I plan for today is we'll make some homing missiles as an effect for the player. So let's create that first, the effect in world space, and then we'll create the UI for that effect. So let's call it. But wait, I don't know how to say missiles. How do you? Homing missiles. Spawner, we'll call this. But before we can code this, we need to code the missile. So let's do that first, right? I use ChatGPT for this. I don't fully understand it. Okay, so let's place that on top of the ship. So like 5 layer, on the layer. What else? Is this? Yes, this is player damage. Let's put that there. We need an animator for this, an animation for this. For that, let's go in the animation folder, create an animator controller first. Add that here. Let's add 1 frame of the animation to the sprite renderer. Seems to be good size. Okay, now let's create the animation. So window animation. Make sure you put in the correct folder, the animation folder. Okay, now we drag all of these sprites. But we do have an issue with this because they have the filter mode to bilinear. We want this to be point. Also, this should be single images. So because there's only one image inside only one sprite inside the image. Now we can drag this here. I see that looks pretty good. That's one thing. Then we need an explosion on collision with this projectile. I have a bunch of options here. I don't know which one is the best. We have to experiment with this. So let's create the explosion for this projectile. And I was thinking this missile follows the target, and when it reaches the target, it spawns a couple of small explosions there. So you don't get damaged by the projectile itself. You get damaged by multiple small explosions. I think that would look nice. So let's create an explosion. That above the projectile, it's an animator. Okay. Let's see. Let's try some effects from this from here. Need to minimize this a bit. I want the same color for the explosion, same as the projectile, something like that. Okay, let's lower that speed. Looks pretty good, but let's try one more. So let's delete those. Select all of these, delete. Okay. We have a bunch of options here. Oh, that is the wrong. Better. No, I don't think we'll use this. So not this. Try this one. Oh, forgot to delete this. Delete those first. Let's see. Nope. This is not good either. Okay, I guess we'll keep this for now. This one is pretty good. Yep, that's good. We'll keep that. But let's add one sprite of the of animation here. You can see it. Now let's code the missile first. So we'll create a script for that. Slow mono behavior, bombing missile. Spawning is not really the issue. We need the logic for the missile itself. Now for the explosion, we want to add a collider, a circle collider on that, and the script that will damage the enemies. So let's create a script for that first. Actually, let's do the explosion first. So let's add a circle collider to the trigger, so no physics. Change this to player damage. Okay, we need to resize this. I don't know. Let's see how it looks with animation. Yeah, this should be smaller. Radius. Let's try that. Okay. Even smaller, maybe. Okay, now we have to resize this. It's a bit too big. Let's say half of this. Okay. Maybe even smaller. Now the script for this. Okay, that. Okay, let's compare this to another projectile. So the green, the one for on the player, from the player. This is very simple. On trigger collision, we want to destroy this. Actually, we want to damage the player, and then destroy this. So let's add the destroy script here. Go to the animation, and at the end, we destroy this explosion. Okay, so we destroy it at the end. And now on collision we deal damage. Uh, for that, we need to have a value for the damage, so public int damage, and then we can copy from the player projectile, adapt it a little bit. So on trigger enter to deal with the enemy, we don't destroy it, we just deal, yeah. Oh, hello, me. We're working on the space shooter. So uh, we don't destroy it on collision with the enemy, we just deal the damage. So this is everything we need for the explosion. Now the logic for the missile to follow the target. Also, we want a collider on this as well, so let's add a circle collider 2D. Place it in the correct spot. Oh, that's a capture. Wait, we need a circle collider. Triggers on physics. So I think something like that. Okay. Let's add the empty script. I just copied the whole script from ChatGPT and we'll adapt it to our needs. Okay. First thing first, this here is it's old. It's not velocity anymore. It's linear velocity. Linear, yes, linear velocity. Correct that here as well. Angular velocity, okay. That's good. Okay, so it has it also has a lifetime. That's good. So here you see if the target dies or disappears, the missile will go in a straight line. So that's good. And then we have this code here, which I don't fully understand. Okay, now we want to modify this here, the on trigger enter 2D. So I just delete it completely. So on trigger enter 2D, we don't because in the code that ChatGPT gave us, this will only interact with the target. We want this actually to interact with any enemy. So if it touches another enemy other than the target, we also want to deal damage here. So we check for collision with the enemy. And we do not directly deal damage to the enemy. We do it with these explosions. So let's say here public int explosions or number explosion, and we want to spawn this around the projectile, or maybe on top of the enemy. I'm not sure. Let's do it on top of the enemy. Or actually, I don't know. Let me think 1 second. Okay, we'll do it around the projectile. Okay, let's see here. Let's ask ChatGPT. How do I spawn the battleground another object? Yeah. And if you don't like this, we'll change it, but let's start with this. Okay, let's see. Okay. We have some options. We do want to do it over time, not instantly. So for that we need the coroutine. Call it collision coordinate. Um, I think we'll use this one here. This one. But we don't want the fixed radius. Let's use a. But I look here and I don't see how this is random. Yeah, here random. Okay. Uh, Let me specify this. So the positions must be random. If you have questions or anything, please stop me at any time. Let me see. Um, so this one here should work. But why is this a vector to the spawn position? Is a vector to here. Want to make sure, yeah. Yes, so all these objects have 0 on the Z, so we can convert that to a vector 3. So let's go to the missile first. Copy that logic. So from 0 to the number of explosions. Um, well, I want one of these to be on top of the enemy. Um, so let's specify here transform, enemy transform. So we spawn one exactly on top of that enemy, and the rest are random. So let's say from 0 to number explosion -1, because one will spawn exactly on top. So here we'll say instantiate. We need a prefab the explosions, public game object explosion prefab. So first we specify the object that we spawn. The position then is the exact position of the enemy, so enemy transform that position. And then maybe we can randomize the rotation. I don't know, can I see here vector 3 random? Is there such thing? No. Okay, create a random rotation. Let's see how random rotation. So random range. Oh, I see. This is only on the z-axis. So before we spawn it here, let's say a random rotation. Then we add that here at the end. And we do the same thing inside here, inside the for loop. But we change the position to the spawn position. Spawn position. Okay. Now we have an issue with this radius variable does not exist, and we don't want this to be a fixed amount. We want to make it a random amount between two values, minimum and maximum. So let's say here float minimum radius. Experiment with this. Okay, and here we make a random number between those. Random range, minimum, maximum. Okay, but you see, we have to wait some time in a coroutine. So between these explosions, we must wait some time. Let's create a variable for that. So float spawn rate, let's say, very small amount for now. So here, after we spawn the first explosion, we wait. And the same we do in the loop, the for loop. Now on collision we do this. But also we want to make sure that this doesn't happen twice. So let's say here private bool exploded. Then by default it's false. And when we start this coroutine, even here. Okay, let's make it true. So here we're also checking if this is false. So it is not exploded. Then we make it true and start that coroutine. Start. Okay. We have to specify the enemy, which is collision dot transform. Okay. So what this will do is we'll follow the enemy and on collision does that, but also we want to delete this on collision with the edge collider. So if it goes outside the camera view, we want to destroy it as well. Let's look at the other projectile and copy that here. So this here, we can copy this. And we don't want any effect, we just destroy it. Okay, now we have to create a script for the spawner. So let's create an empty script. This one will be simple, but let's save some elements first. Um, well, actually, let's do the script first. The script of the effect. So we need a couple of things. One is the effect script, because this will also have the effect script. This is just to um, this just represents the level of the effect. So here we'll say effect script. Then in start we get that. Also, we'll need an amount of projectiles, private int number projectiles, and that will be equal to number. So the number of projectiles will be equal to the effect script level plus 2, let's say. So that means 3 by default. Also, in that date, let's make sure that we update this value if we change the level. So we check here if the number of projectiles is different than that. Then we change it. Make it equal to that. Now we want to spawn this every couple of seconds. So we'll say private float spawn rate, or let's say spawn counter, and then spawn rate. The spawn counter, we don't care about this. We don't want to see it in the inspector. But the spawn rate, we want to see that. So let's say serialize field. So in update we count. So we say if the spawn counter is smaller than the spawn rate, we say spawn counter plus equal time delta time. So we add the time difference between frames. So in other words, we count the time in seconds. And then else, so that means if we reach that limit, it's time to spawn those projectiles. So let's say here, let's spawn this also not at the same time. Let's have a little time between each spawn. For that, we'll create a coroutine. Spawn projectiles. So for integer 0 to the number of projectiles, we spawn it, spawn. So, but first we need the game object. So public game object projectile prefab, spawn the projectile prefab. Also here, let's say, but why don't we do it here? So let's say public float spawn, but we cannot say spawn rate, you see, because already used this. So let's just say float wait time 0.15, let's say. So spawn it at the position of this. So that's from position. And then quaternary intensity means no rotation. Then we wait some time between. So here yield return new wait for seconds. Wait that amount of time. And I think that's it. So here, when we reach that, when it's time to spawn, we reset the spawn counter to 0 and then start this coroutine. Spawn projectiles. But now the issue is those projectiles do not have a target. You see, we have this target transform here. So after we spawn these, we need to select a target. Let's select the closest one to the. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, why don't we select a random one? So for that, let's go and see a function here, a circle overlap. Circle overlap here. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Okay. Now we have two options here. One is we do this circle overlap each time for the for loop, or we do it once at the beginning. With this small time difference, I think we'll do it in the beginning here. So find all enemies. So first we do a collider to the array. Call it colliders. And then we say physics to the circle overlap. So circle overlap circle all, I think. And we have to specify some stuff here. So first, the position, because we want to select everything. We want to select everything. We can do it in any spot. Let's say vector 30. Let's see what. Then a radius. We have to select a radius. We just say a big number here. Let's say 100. What else? A physics layer. Let's make sure that the enemies have a layer. No, they do not. We have to create a layer here for the enemies. So that way we only target enemies with this circle overlap. Okay. Let's see. We have to create a layer mask first. So here, let's say a public layer, enemy layer. Here we target the enemy layer. That should work. So once we have all of the enemies here, let's change that to enemies. We want to select a random one each time here. So here we'll say, now we need the script, the homing missile. So after we spawn the missile, we want to get the script. So get component homing missile. Okay, now we want the target variable, and this is a bit confusing because it's just in one line. So we'll say that is equal to one random enemy from that array. So we'll say enemies, and now we select a random value, a random, an enemy from a random index. So here we'll say random range 0 and the length of that array. So enemies length. But this is the whole object, I think. So let's say transform at the end. Yep, that works. So again, this line is very ugly, but this is what it is. Okay. So we spawn the projectile here. Then we get the script that is attached to the projectile. We select the target variable, which is a transform, and then we select a random transform from our arrays of enemies here. This should work now. We have to add some stuff to the script, but then it should work. Let's say the effect first. The effect folder. Can remove it now. But this to also here. Now this is the spawner. Let's wait like 4 seconds. Let's add the projectile here. Select the enemy layer. On this one, we want to add the explosion. Okay. Explosion, let's give it some damage. Now let's create a new. Excuse me. Let's create an UI for our effect here. I'll just drag this in the scene, unpack it. So prefab, unpack, it's no longer prefab. Let's see it in the canvas. Actually, doesn't matter. We'll call this just homing missiles. This needs to be the exact name of the object that will be attached to the player. So let's copy that exactly. Okay, now this has a text here. Change the text. So homing missiles. Change the color of that to orange or something like that. And then the index will be the third, so that means 2 because the array starts from 0. Okay, now we can save this as an UI. Now we have to add this to our game manager. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see if it works. I have to adapt the script a bit. Okay, let's test. Okay, it does not work. Let's see what the issue is. There is no rigid body on this. Yes, that is the issue. There's no rigid body. Check the ChatGPT. Let's see what it told us. for the missiles. Yeah, just need a rigid body, dynamic with no gravity. Let's go to that data, rigid body 2D, dynamic, no gravity, zero the gravity here. And I think the reason is this is not kinematic is because it's as a trigger collider, so it doesn't collide with anything. Okay. Okay. So we have one issue. One issue is the rotation of those is incorrect. Let's look at the script that ChatGPT gave us. Yes, that okay, let's see. This is towards the right, so that means when we move it, it's okay to use the transform up. But when we rotate it, we need to use the transform right, I think. I'm not sure. I think that's what we need to do. So let's go to homing missile here, where it's rotated here and say right. Actually, I'll comment. Oh, never mind. That's one issue. Maybe the rotate speed should be increased. I think that's also an issue. But first, let's deal with the rotation. Let's see if that fixes it. Seems to work correctly. I don't know. Okay. Okay, let's see. Because the issue was that script was for sprites that were orientated towards a vector towards the up direction, but this is towards the right. So to remake the script. I'm actually curious. Yeah. Oh, so everything needs to be changed. I see. I see. Here everything needs to be changed. Linear velocity. Okay, let's try that one more time. Yep, that looks pretty good. Pretty good. But there are a couple of issues. There are a couple of issues. One is after we do this, when you collide with the enemy, um, we want to destroy this. So at the end of the coroutine here, we want to destroy this. But also at the beginning, we want to visually remove this. So let's do that. But for that, we need a couple of things. We need the sprite renderer and the rigid bodies. Just say here components. And then here we'll say private circle collider 2D collider and then private sprite renderer. So at the start here, we'll visually disable that and the collider also. Sprite renderer enabled. Enable false and then circle collider enable false. And here at the end we destroy it. Okay, that was one issue. The other issue is when we spawn these explosions here, we should make this a child of that enemy. So here, let's say transform parent equal enemy transform. Same here inside the for loop. And now also this radius here is not correct. Those values are not correct. Let's say something smaller, like 0.1 to 0.2. That's interesting. Now it doesn't collide with that. I'm not sure what the issue is. Oh yes, I see. Oh, we do have an error actually. Yes, I see. There is an issue because we forgot to add these components to the script. So we have to get this in the start function, those components. Test is it, if it works, we'll stop for today. I'll have to think of more enemies and effects. Let's try that one more time. Okay. Now I have a problem with this. Um, yes, the issue is why is this why is it just one explosion there? Let's see. Um, so the number, let's see, number explosions. Oh, I see. We forgot to set it to a value. Let's pause this. Let's stop the scene. Let's see the homing missile here. Check the script. Number of explosions is 0. But that's interesting. Why did it? I'm curious. Why did it spawn uh, one explosion? Because if this is 0, doesn't really make sense. But doesn't matter. Okay. Yep. Now that's much better. But also let's change the sensitivity there. We'll double of that. So these the projectiles will find the target faster or rotate faster. I see. Yeah, much better. Much better. Yep, that's much better. But I'm looking at this and okay, that was we have an issue here. Let's see. Yes, you see here sometimes the enemy is missing here. So we also want to check here when we spawn these explosions. When I want to do this, if the target still exists, um, but let's see what's oh yes. Well, we have a couple of issues. One is in here we say target, but we don't want to spawn this on the target, I think. want to spawn it on whatever we collide it with. So let's say enemy transform here. That's one issue. Also, what if the enemy is no longer alive? When we do this, we want to do it if the enemy transform. It's different. We do this only if that enemy still exists. Try that one more time. So we only spawn those explosions if the enemy is still in the scene. See that one more time. Seems to work. Yep, works pretty good. Okay, then that's it for today. I will think of other effects and enemies for tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys.